I'm Olena, 36, a guide in the Grand Canyon. Its rust-colored cliffs, air thick with dust and freedom, and the Colorado River whispering below. It's my home, though my roots lie in Chernivtsi, Ukraine. 5 years ago, I fled to the US when my teaching job crumbled like dry sand. I dreamed of a fresh start, but I carry scars, letters from my mother, unopened, because their words burn hotter than the desert sun. In June 2025, I led a group of tourists down the canyon's floor, expecting routine. A flash flood washed away our camp, stranding us in a crucible of fear and sand. This is my story of sweat, fights, lessons from my Carpathian grandfather, and people who became my mirror. If you want to feel what it's like to battle the canyon and yourself, listen. Every step is a scar on my heart. I planned the trek in my Flagstaff apartment, its walls smelling of coffee and old wood. My map of the canyon, worn and marked, lay spread on the table. When I arrived in 2020, the canyon felt like a beast. Cliffs pressed in, the sun scorched my skin. But my grandfather, a Carpathian forester, taught me, Olena, nature speaks if you listen. His voice anchors me, though I haven't seen Ukraine in 5 years. My mother's latest letter sat in a drawer. Olena, come back. I turned away, like from a mirror. The forecast for June promised heat. 104 degrees Fahrenheit by day, cooler at night, no rain. The route, 30 miles along the canyon floor, 7 days, camping in grottos, ending at the Colorado River. I'd led it 3 times. Tourists grumbled about sweat, but left with shining eyes. My group was a mix. Jack, 50, a Silicon Valley tech mogul with a voice like a blade, commanded as if we were his employees. He'd lost his wife 2 years prior, and this trip was his attempt to reconnect with his daughter, Ava. Ava, 16, slight, with earbuds shielding her from the world, glared at her father with ice in her eyes. Sophie, 22, a Boston ecology student, had a spark in her gaze, but was escaping parents pushing her toward law school. Mark, 40, a photographer with graying temples, stayed distant, his silence hiding something heavy. His fists clenched when Jack raised his voice. I checked my gear. A battered Deuter backpack, 33 pounds, tent, sleeping bag, water filter, rope, knife, first aid kit, whistle, multi-tool, paracord, magnesium fire starter, 4 liters of water, dried fruit, nuts, bars. Jack's sleek backpack lacked water pouches. Olena, I pay, you carry, he snapped, adjusting his glasses. I handed him a bottle. Drink, or you'll burn. He grimaced but took it. We drove in my Jeep, beat up, smelling of gas and dust. Gravel crunched under the tires. Jack complained about the heat. Ava listened to music. Sophie read about cacti. Mark stared out the window. The sky was clear, but my grandfather whispered, "Watch the horizon." At Bright Angel Trailhead, the sun blazed. I passed out SPF 50. Slather up or you'll fry. Ava winced. Sticky, gross. Jack muttered, not what I paid for. I bit my tongue. Clients. We descended, stones crunching, the air thick with heated sand. Jack trailed, grumbling about his company, but when Ava tripped, he lunged to catch her. She shoved his hand away. I'm fine. I remembered brushing off my mother in Chernivtsi as she begged me to stay. Olena, you're needed here, she'd said, clutching my suitcase. I left. At camp, I started a fire by friction, saving gas as my grandfather taught. Flames crackled, smelling of resin. Sophie asked, "How do you do that?" I smiled. Grandpa said patience outburns fire. Ava snapped a photo. Like a movie. Mark stared at the cliffs, fingers trembling. Jack scoffed. Charming, but I expect results, Olena. My chest tightened. My mother's letter lay in my pack, and I feared its weight. Day 1 was hell. The sun scorched, sweat dripped, my pack dug into my shoulders. I checked the trail. Slippery stones could snap an ankle. Jack panted. "This all week?" Sophie's voice warmed as she talked cacti, eyes alight. Ava trudged, head down, earbuds humming. Mark shot photos but clutched his ribs, hiding pain. "Drink often, thirst lies," I urged, passing a bottle. Ava sipped, muttering, "Hopeless." I touched her shoulder. "Just tired." She didn't pull away. In a grotto, shade cooled, smelling of damp stone. Water was down to 2 liters each. I showed the filter. River water needs cleaning. It flowed clear, mineral sharp. Jack grimaced. "Safe?" I nodded. "Safer than your doubts." Sophie giggled. Mark cracked a smile. I recalled my grandfather teaching me to filter Carpathian streams. We sat by a creek, him laughing. "Olena, water's life, but check if it lies." I was Ava then, angry, but I listened. The sky darkened, clouds rolled from the north. I knew the canyon played tricks. We camped on a ledge. I secured tents with stones. Rain floods the low ground. Jack snorted, paranoid. Ava mumbled, "She's doing something." I felt my grandfather's gaze, better paranoid than dead. Day 2 exploded with thunder. Rain hammered the tent. Lightning slashed the sky. I bolted out. "Up!" The river roared. Water poured off cliffs. Ava screamed, "We'll drown!" Jack bellowed, "You said no rain!" Sophie whispered, "Olena, what now?" Mark's eyes shouted, silent. The flood hit. A muddy torrent swept our camp below. Food, radio, half our water, gone. Mark lunged for his camera. I grabbed him. "Life's worth more!" We scrambled to a cave, damp, smelling of clay. Jack raged. "Your failure, Olena!" Ava sobbed. Sophie shivered. Mark gripped his ribs. I shut my eyes. "Grandpa, give me strength." I gathered tent scraps and paracord. A tarp keeps us warm. It hummed in the wind. Sophie helped. Jack grumbled, "Pointless." I stared. "Jack, help or shut up." He grabbed the rope. River water was poison without a filter. I sliced a saguaro cactus. Its pulp gives moisture. Sip slowly. Stomachs adjust. The juice, bitter, cloudy, saved us. Ava winced. "Disgusting." I grinned. "Better gross than dead." Sophie chuckled. "You're like my sister, joking in hell." I remembered my Aunt Larissa, baking pies, laughing when I cried over a bad grade. Olena, hell passes, laughter stays, night chilled. I collected yucca branches. Fire starter works in rain. Sparks flared, resin scented the air. Keep it small, or we choke. Ava watched, mesmerized. Jack scoffed. "Won't save us." Sophie snapped. "Better than your yelling." He fell silent. Rain eased, but the trail was a river. Jack insisted on moving. "I know better." I blocked him. "Floods kill in seconds." Ava bolted. "I don't want to die." I caught her, water splashing. "Ava, you're strong." She sobbed. "Dad'll leave me again." I held her. "He's fighting." My chest ached. I saw my mother crying as I left. "Olena, you're abandoning me." Food dwindled. 2 bars, a handful of nuts. "Share evenly," I said. Mark confessed. Ribs broken, fell. I bandaged him, antiseptic stinging. "Breathe steady." Jack exploded. "You trapped us." Sophie countered. "She's holding us together." Ava muttered, "You'd ditch us, Dad." Jack turned away, hands shaking. I pointed to the stars. "Polaris is north. Keep it right. Head west." By day, shadows. Sun south at noon. We carved markers on stones. Sophie nodded. "My uncle taught stars. I didn't listen." I smiled. I ignored Grandpa, but he's in me. I spotted a bird's nest. Eggs are food, birds bite. I climbed with paracord, grabbed 2 eggs, slimy, dusty. "Cook on a stone." Ava giggled. "Scouts." Mark smiled. My daughter loved scouts. His voice broke. "Loss." Jack stormed off with water. "I'll find a way." I found him stuck in mud, gasping. "Not alone," I said, pulling with rope. He looked. "You're like my wife." "She never quit." I nodded, feeling my mother. "Olena, don't quit." Nights brought growls, coyotes or worse. Mark whispered, "Not animals." I gripped my whistle. 3 blasts for SOS. Fear hummed, but my grandfather led me through a Carpathian storm. "Olena, fear's a shadow, walk through." Food gone, water receded. I found a cave with petroglyphs, spirals, snakes, hohokum. "It's a map," I said, tracing an arrow. "Symbols lead to exits." Sophie whispered, "Magic." My grandfather showed me wolf tracks in the Carpathians. Olena, Nature's a book, read it. In the dust, hoof prints. Animals head to people. Fresh tracks are deep. We followed. A valley opened, smoke, tents, horses. A Navajo camp. An old man, skin like the canyon, waved. "Come." I approached. "We're lost. Help us." He nodded. "Something for something." Jack gave his Rolex, gleaming. Ava whispered. He never took it off. The Navajo offered water, bread, a path. "Follow the sun. West is your way." Listen to her, nodding at me. I led, sun at our backs. Shadows point west. Mark leaned on Sophie. Ava held my hand. Jack walked beside. Asphalt appeared, smelling of freedom. A ranger's pickup roared up, dust swirling. I dropped to my knees. "Alive." Ava hugged me. "You saved us." Jack gripped my shoulder. "Sorry." In Flagstaff, the air smelled of dust and asphalt, but to me, freedom. The ranger, gray-haired, voice like gravel, handed us water, cold, sweeter than honey. "You brought them out, girl," he said, his wrinkled eyes, canyon deep, holding respect. I nodded, but my thoughts were with my mother, her letter a stone in my pack. We sat in the ranger's office, cramped, smelling of coffee and old maps. Ava leaned against Jack, her earbuds dangling, not hiding her. "Dad, you stayed," she said softly. Jack, eyes once sharp as knives, softened. "I'm not leaving, Ava," he replied, squeezing her hand. I looked away, remembering my mother holding mine in Chernivtsi as I packed. "Olena, you're my rock," she'd said. I'd brushed her off, fearing tears. The canyon taught me, rocks crack, but they endure. Sophie sat across, her spark brighter. "I'm writing a dissertation on this, Olena," she laughed. "Cacti, petroglyphs, you, better than any ecology course." She'd sent her parents a letter, her first in a year. "I won't be a lawyer. I'm studying nature, like you." Her words hit like my grandfather's voice. "Olena, nature is truth." I smiled. "You've already started, Sophie." Mark was taken to the hospital, but first he approached, clutching his camera, miraculously intact. "Thank you, Olena," he said, voice trembling. "My daughter loved hikes. You reminded me of her." He showed a photo, a girl, maybe 10, laughing against mountains. I squeezed his hand. "She'd be proud, Mark." He nodded, his eyes not hiding pain but releasing it. I thought of Aunt Larissa baking pies. Olena, laughter stays. Mark walked away, carrying her laughter forward. Jack came last, his wrist bare without the Rolex. "I was blind, Olena," he said, glancing at Ava, laughing with Sophie. "You saved us, and me with her." He handed me a card. "Come to California. Your family." I took it, feeling warmth I hadn't known since Chernivtsi. My grandfather said, "Olena, family is who you share fire with." I looked at the group. We'd shared fire in hell. That night, in my apartment, I opened my mother's letter. Tears blurred the words. "Olena, you're my pride, wherever you are." I saw us walking in Chernivtsi's park, her singing Chervona Ruta, while I laughed, not knowing the lyrics. I was whole then, uncracked. The canyon showed me. Cracks let light through. I grabbed a pen and wrote, "Mom, I'm coming back. Not forever, but to hold you." The letter smelled of paper and hope. I'll return to the canyon. It's my home, my scars. But first, to Chernivtsi, to my mother, to myself. The canyon taught me, you don't need to be perfect to lead or whole to love. If this story hit you, comment, what would you do in the canyon? What would you say to those you left? Subscribe, sweat, fear, hope. Thanks for listening.